Hello everybody, going to be tracking these showers and some thunderstorms along with some very heavy rainfall and gusty winds. Keep in mind there is a mesoscale discussion that's just been put out. Not sure if we'll go under a watch or not. Probably won't, but there is a possibility. But I'll just read it directly from the NOAA News Storm Prediction Center. Areas affected: portions of central into northern Alabama. Concerning severe thunderstorm potential watch, there is a possibility. 60% chance of watch issuance. The threat for strong to potentially severe thunderstorms wind gust is increasing with the approach of a squall line. A west weather watch, oh my goodness, it's been one of those days. A weather watch issuance is possible pending upwards trends in the intensity for the northern portions of the squall line and any thunderstorm ahead of the line. Basically, long story short, we could be under a severe thunderstorm watch due to the threat of damaging winds ahead of the main line and along the line as well. So let's take a look at this. Let me switch the reflectivity out. I particularly like the other one better. And there's no warnings at this time, so just letting you know that. There is no warnings at this time with any of this. Just some very high gusty winds out there. Now notice on the back side of this system here how it just kind of cuts off. Now meteorologist Taylor Plott was pointing this out, and I've been watching it myself, and I'm thinking, hey, you know, I wonder if there's a wake low back there because of the way it kind of cuts off. He just confirmed it. He said he's pretty sure there is a wake low back on the back side of this. So note how all that just kind of cuts off back there and it just dries out. More than likely, right in there, there's a wake low. There's some very high winds coming through behind that system. Now, the system is now in northwest Alabama at 7 o'clock, so it's ahead of schedule on things. So it's moving ahead pretty quick, moving into northwest Alabama, portions of northwest Alabama right now, with the heaviest stuff being looking like down around Red Bay, Hamilton, Russellville, but we also have some stuff ahead of this, as you can see, moving into Arab and Guntersville. Wish I could use those cameras. I'd bring them up and let you see it, but that's a frustrating situation. Still can't do that yet. But anyway, moving into Arab right now, thunder, lightning, high winds, probably around 30 to 40 mile per hour gust in there, maybe some higher gust with that as that does continue to move to the east. So primary threats we're going to be watching would be the threat of some damaging winds. The good news is, looking at the reflectivity, some of this here, you know, these winds up here, not looking too good because they're kind of high up. I'm not seeing anything, you know, that would be pushing it to the ground, in other words. So looking at this, you can see the line. It's really skinny little line, but there's some heavier stuff in there, heavier rainfall. So what that does is it allows that heavier stuff to pull that wind from that jet stream down to the surface, and then you can get some damaging wind gusts. But where the lighter stuff is at, like right up in here, more than likely you're just going to see some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds with that because it's not intense enough at this point. But definitely going to be some gusty winds. Now the backside of it, that's a little bit different story. Some gusty winds back there if a wake low is present. Keep in mind, wake lows are very hard to forecast, and we'll just keep an eye on it, see if that's the case. But right now, we're continuing to track it. Looks like if there was to be any really high winds, it would be heading potentially toward Winfield, moving to the east near Glen Allen, Brilliant area, Natural Bridge area. But right now, not really anything other than a special weather statement in effect for some 50 mile per hour winds. But keep in mind, you know, they could go up a little higher than that if it's able to tap into some of that air aloft, the higher winds, and pull it down. Doppler radar tracking a strong thunderstorm along a line extending from near Winston to near Kenny to near Aliceville. The movement was northeast at 45 miles per hour, so it's not moving very quick. Wind gusts around 50 miles per hour possible along that line there. Locations impacted: Cody, Lake, Tuscaloosa, Carrollton, sorry about that, Englewood, Camp, McDowell, Ralph, Northport, Wayside, Clear Creek, Samantha, Lynn, Ashbank, Rankin Fight, Airport, Fayette, Pebble, Bull Branch, McFarland Mall, Coon Creek, Kirk, and Pleasant Ridge. Man, them are some hard words to say. I'm sorry. Those get a little bit tongue twisting going on there. But watching the line, let's take a look at the velocity on it here. So we're shooting out from Columbus Air Force Base radar here, so let's get it on up to another scan. Might give me a better idea here. So yeah, along this line there is, don't pay attention to the head stuff. That's way too far out. Along the main line there, I do see some 40s, 50s. It's kind of hard to keep up with it. And what we're going to be watching is between these lines here, where you've got wind going in one direction and blowing another toward radar, away from radar. So we're going to be watching for any rotations that might potentially develop between this stuff as well. When you start getting these colors really close together and they start rotating, that's when you get a quick spin up. Best thread of that will be down south here. But they are discussing the issuance of a severe thunderstorm watch. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Let's get on back to our area. I'm way down in South Alabama at this point. So we do see some lightning. Over the ARAB area. Let me go ahead and get it back on the reflectivity here. And yes, there is some wildfires down around Blountsville to the south, and around Asheville. Just some crazy stuff going on with these winds. There's some potential for some gusty winds with this stuff moving into ARAB, and also that's pushing off to the north, or actually to the northeast there. Also the possibility of some gusty winds as it's moving into Jackson County too. It's not wanting to make it that far to the north, but it could. But just let everybody know there is the possibility, very, low possibility Northeast Alabama will be included in that watch. But it's not out of the question just yet, but I don't believe we will go under a watch. I think that should be further south because it doesn't look like it's making it this far north. I just don't think there's enough energy up here because it seems like it cuts off to the south. So I believe that watch, if it goes up, will be further south. Still, possibility that could be, I could be wrong too, but I don't think I'm wrong about it. So let's look at the chat. Oh yeah, this thing's moving quick. It's moving really quick. This is Alabama. That's what state we're looking at right now. So FYI, there is reports of some large tree limbs in the roadway going toward Dawson Gap. Just an FYI there. Yeah, Irish, I'm aware. I was down to the southwest and to the west looking at what's coming to the east. But yeah, it didn't take it long at all to get here. I mean, moving east is moving quick. Let's go back west. But yeah, there's not a lot going on currently. There's no warnings. Doppler radar here is wanting to show a TVS signature down, but that's to the southwest of us. So we're currently in West Alabama, Northwest Alabama right now. Not seeing this stuff build that far north. Which is a good thing. There could still be some gusty to damaging winds, but more than likely, damaging winds, if there was any, would be along the line there where it looks a little bit more defined. That is moving off to the east, so it would eventually, if it holds up, make its way into, of course, ARAB area. That's way far out. But eventually, before then, moving toward the Russellville area, along I-65 there, Hartselle, Decatur, Coleman, areas there, and of course, it eventually move into northeast Alabama too. That's probably going to be around the 9 or 10 o'clock hour at the rate this thing's going. But there is a possibility it could slow down and maybe move in around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. But right now they're thinking 10 or 11 o'clock for here. Of course, this thing is already moving through northwest Alabama. It's not even 8 o'clock yet, so it's a little bit ahead of schedule here on things. But yeah, I'm just trying to find something of interest at this point until it does get toward our area. I do see a little bit of rotation with that, but nothing really out of the ordinary too bad. It's way too far away. So far, our wind gusts at the station within the hour has been 23 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the chat. Hello, Mike. Hope you're doing good. Yes, there is still the threat of some gusty to damaging winds with this bit of rain and thunder and lightning that's moving through. But so far, it's been kind of not the case, you know. Okay, Iris, sorry about that. That was my mistake. So here's the batch that's currently moving through Marshall County. Let's get back up here to our radar site, or well, high top. So we've got some heavier stuff coming through, but like it's having a lot of trouble keeping itself together because of that wind shear aloft. These storms build up a little bit, and then the wind shear just pushes them down. And that's what it's doing at this point. The wind shear is so intense that they're not able to build up very high, which there's not a lot of instability up here to work with either, or there's probably hardly none up here. It's just going to be the wind fields with this, the low-level jet that we've been talking about for the past few days. So we will keep an eye on stuff, but right now I'm not seeing any damage reports coming out in Albertville or Boaz or nothing. So I'm going to take a look at the live stream, at the camera, and let me make sure that it's not showing up on live stream. I pray it's not. Okay, good. Let me back up in the background here, and I'm going to take a look and see what the camera's showing. Looking at the camera, it is moving around all over the place. The wind's really rough in Albertville, Boaz. Looks like it's just some rain with some gusty winds. Not really seeing much else. Looking at the live camera across the area, that's Marshall DeKalb Electric Cooperative camera. We're looking off toward the, I'm thinking to the northwest. Yeah, that is the direction we're looking at this point. Will be to the northwest. So seeing some rain, some wind, but other than that, you know, nothing crazy on the camera. So let's get back to it. I'll well, as soon as I said that, we get a report. So we did have a spotter give us a report. Just some limbs down and stuff. That's pretty much compatible with 40-mile-an-hour winds, 30 to 40 mile-per-hour winds with that, and that's continuing to move off to the east. But the good news is there's no warnings out there on any of this up here. All the warnings are down to the south. So what we're going to be mainly watching for is gusty to potentially damaging winds as this moves through. But more than likely, we should be good with this first line because it's weakening out. You know, I'm not seeing any high signatures or nothing on here. There could still be some gusty winds with it. More than likely where the gustiest winds will be, of course, will be with the main line and behind it. If there is a wake low on the backside, that'll be what we have to watch for. But, you know, can't rule out some gusty winds with this front line. I'm not seeing nothing too crazy, though, honestly. And the reflectivity is incredibly noisy tonight. Yeah, there's no point in even trying to use it. But yeah, once I figure that stuff out with the Radar Omega, like I don't know what to do with it, because I'm scared to share it on the stream, considering it's got a note underneath it that says "Do not live broadcast without permission from the owner." So that's what it means. Don't live broadcast it. But I just don't really get the point of having it on a weather app. If they don't want people sharing it out, that's where my confusion comes. But just for safety, we'll stick with photos. Until I figure out more. But how's everybody doing? Anybody got any damage so far? Or has everything been good so far? Everything's good here. We've had some, gusts over 30 miles per hour today. We're at 23 right now within the hour. Just not a lot going on. And Amanda, I did post a thing up regarding mobile homes. Um, that's my personal research, though. That's not any, qualified, scientific evidence with it. In other words, um, if you got trees around, I wouldn't stay in a mobile home with 60-mile-an-hour winds, to be honest. I won't stay in this one with 60-mile-an-hour winds. Um, Even though it'll hold up, I just won't do it because we got trees around. So, um, yeah, if you got trees around, I wouldn't stay in it, and it really, depends. It depends on a lot. If I can't say to stay in there, and I can't say not to. I mean, basically, what I can say is, use your judgment. Um, don't take my word for it. Use your judgment. My research, and you can research it yourself. In case I was incorrect on something, it says that they can hold up to like 75 mile per hour winds. This one has actually held up to that high of winds, but of course I wasn't in it, and I wouldn't be in it. So yeah, there you go. That's just my opinion. There's no way I would want to be in this winds. No, 60 sounds like it's tearing it apart. So no, I think I'll take my chances in a shelter. Yeah, and the straight line winds, they can really do some damage. So, and these are going to be straight line winds when it comes through. So, if you got a shelter, hey, go to it. If there's a warning goes up, go to the shelter. Most definitely, don't take a risk with it and get stuck in there and get injured or something. It's not worth that. Not too bad, neither, Mike. That's great. I know to the south of us, it's a disaster with everything going on. Around 9 o'clock, let me look at the newest high-resolution models and see if anything new has came out. I'm going to refresh that. Okay, so yeah, it's currently in northwest Alabama right now. I mean, goodness gracious. So, I'll tell you what these models are thinking. They're thinking, I'll just go ahead and show you. Let me just pull it up, get it over with. So let me... Ooh, Lord, I hope this don't open that camera up. Please don't open that camera up. Okay, good. Sorry, I'm just so nervous about those live cameras coming up and somebody, chewing me out over it. So I'm trying to make sure I don't click on the wrong thing. Okay, let me open that back up. I just hate it when stuff don't cooperate. Okay, it's good enough. So models are thinking ahead with this line coming through. We have some ahead of it, and we have some on the backside, which is the main line. And this right here is at 7 o'clock. It's thinking that we're going to get some gusty to potentially damaging winds in Marshall, Jackson, parts of DeKalb County, as this first batch of heavy rain and thunderstorms move through, which that's what we're watching right now so far. We're not seeing that, so that's good. Moving forward, still holding out 50 to 60 along the main line there. It's thinking 60s, 60, 65 miles per hour gusts, and then the line moves on through. And then we'll have to watch on the backside there for the potential for a wake low, which if it does, if there is one back there, it'll be pretty windy as it moves through too. So that's what the models, are thinking currently. And yes, you are seeing snow. That is snow that is predicting Thursday or Wednesday night into Thursday as this stuff moves through. That's just the most crazy thing I've ever seen. So we're bringing the line back, backing it way up here. So it's thinking it weakens a bit. It tries to get its strength back as it moves across Huntsville. So this right here is at 10 o'clock. Looking like it'll be along I-65 by then. I really don't think it's going to take it that long unless it slows down, which it could. Moving a little bit further east now, seeing some of them signatures there, how the lines are just broke. That's where I get concerned when the lines start to break. Now, if it actually does that, this is pretty much just a future forecast. This is at 11 o'clock. So it looks like it's getting through here around, or into our area around 11, and it looks like it's completely out of here by around 2 a.m., 1 to 2 a.m. So that's if everything stays on course, which right now it's ahead of time. So go ahead and get that radar back up. No problem, Amanda. Thanks for watching. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, if you're in a house in Collinsville, I mean, if you're in a house, like, yeah, I mean, a house, unless a tornado drops down, it's, yeah. Of course, you're going to want to heed the warnings, but houses, they're made on a sturdy foundation. At least most of them are. Mobile homes, they don't have a foundation, or at least ours don't have a foundation, which is, where it's anchored to the ground. In other words, it is tied down, but it doesn't have a sturdy foundation like homes do, if that makes any sense. Wow, there was 110 mile per hour winds a week ago or in Fort Payne. I don't remember that. I probably would if someone refreshed my memory. It's just been too crazy. Powell is located, seen that comment come up. Let's see. You're in DeKalb County, which is northeast Alabama. The timing on that will be around 10, 11 o'clock. Now we are watching this line ahead. The models are thinking that we're going to get some, gusty to damaging winds with it. Currently not seeing that at the moment. Of course there is, well, that's a little bit higher report there than what was there, I'm pretty sure, a minute ago. That's a pretty good sign of some gusty winds there. And that's just to the northwest of Arab. So this line could be, holding some pretty good wind gusts. It's just about to be at our station here. And I'm trying to get my location to show up. I don't know why it's not.
Right now, this is...
Okay, that's Brett Travis. It's just a mess out there. That's pretty much all you can say. It just seems like every news agency around is live right now, so that's pretty good. Okay, I don't know what's the deal with that. But yeah, the good news though is there's not a lot going on unless you're further south. I mean, it's just an absolute, mess down there. They're getting reports of some wind damage down there. Trees uprooted or snapped, roof blown off. That's down there around Hoover. With this line moving through. So, I mean, it is worth watching. Anyone in Marshall County, Arab, Guntersville, Albertville, Boaz, getting any wind damage, which I'm going to switch over to the camera. I forgot that I can look right over Boaz, and I can tell you it's raining pretty good over Boaz. very heavy rain. I just seen a lightning flash. I'm going to estimate the winds probably 30 miles per hour. Looking through Boaz right now as the rain moves through. And I can't get a screenshot of it while I'm live. But it is pretty windy. Not seeing nothing, damaging as far as the winds go over there in Boaz, so that is good. Heavy wind in Boaz and rain. Yeah, I know it looks windy from the camera there, and that camera is located just right in Boaz. It's, if you know where the Walgreens is and the McDonald's, literally when you're looking at the camera, you can see all of them. Okay, crazy wind in Pisgah. Okay, so it does sound like these, there could be some wind, gusty winds with these showers moving through. But yeah, after this moves through, I'm going to try my very, very best to call and get permission to use that camera. That would be so cool if I could use it on the live stream. Well, Amanda, it really depends on which way the wind hits that carport and how good it's tied down. We got a carport out there that has survived all kinds of wind, but it really depends on which way the wind's aimed at it, pretty much, or which way it's aimed to the wind. If the wind gets it from the side, then yeah, it could pick it up, or if it gets under it, it could pick it up. It really depends. I really can't say. It might be okay and it might not be. The red dots are storm spotters, and mine finally showed up. It shows if you're a storm spotter, what you are, you're a ham operator, all that good stuff. That's what the red dots are. So we do have a special weather statement that has just went out for northwestern portions of Alabama. Strong thunderstorms will impact northwestern Limestone, Lauderdale, Colbert, eastern Franklin, and Lawrence through 8:15. At 7:28, emergency management reported strong thunderstorms along a line extending from near Cherokee to near Russellville. To near Phil Campbell, the movement was northeast at 65 miles per hour, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Source emergency management, meaning this has been reported to the National Weather Service that they are experiencing these, this high wind gust along this line. So 50 mile per hour wind gusts with that has been, measured by emergency management and reported to the National Weather Service in Huntsville. Areas impacted will be Posey, Loop, Mount Hope, Florence, Speake, Neesmith, Oakland, North Cortland, Lexington, Tuscumbia, and Hatton. And that is currently what we've got at the moment. So I'm still, let me back it up. I'm going to look at the live stream camera in Boaz again. Let's see. I'm going to estimate the winds now. They've probably picked up, I'm going to say 30, maybe some gusts up 35, 40. I won't rule that out. I'm not seeing power flickering or, I'm not seeing stuff blowing around. And yes, you can actually see that high in depth that I could see if stuff's blowing around on the roads. That's what's amazing with this camera. And that's why I would love to use it on the live stream just for viewer purposes, just to look at it, in other words, and show people what's actually going on. That would be the only reason I'd want to even do it. I know a lot of people, they'll use, the reason they're like this toward the cameras and copyright and stuff is because some people will take this footage and they won't be like me. They will go live with it and they'll use it and claim that it's theirs, and they'll be making money off of the footage, and that's why all that comes into play. Why they make a big deal. They're like, hey, no, not without my permission. You're not using this. Which is understandable. I get it. I mean, I wouldn't want someone making money off of my footage from my camera that I was paying for either, so I get it. But, someone that's, just wanting it just to look, look at, they may not have a problem with it. Then again, they might not want that. It's, of course, every owner's discretion, the rules that they put in place with the cameras. But, as of right now, they've said nope, no live streaming without permission, which I have not got yet. So there you go. Hopefully we'll be able to fix that soon, though, I hope. Tied your state bird down earlier. I know I seen one on the top of the power lines, probably about 50 or 60 feet off the ground. Person showed a photo of that. They're like, I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to be up there. I'm like, no, I don't think it should be that high up either. Yeah, it would be a cool and useful tool. It sure would be. I wish I could show it, but I'm too scared, that they would end up saying something and, they can actually press charges against you. Yeah, Shelby, it probably was. It's been busy. I hadn't slept very much, so my mind is just all over the place. Power went off near Geraldine a few seconds. Okay, that's actually the line's moving through right now. That first batch, the first line, that first little batch you can see ahead is now moving through Kilpatrick, Crossville, Dawson, Skirham, Geraldine, if I didn't say that, Lakeview, Grove Oak, Painter area. So, if we get some gusty winds, I'll let you know. So far, we haven't got any gusty winds yet. Internet's in and out this evening. Yeah, it's been really in and out. That's for sure. No power on Falls Mountain. You're further south, so yeah, it's really rough down your way.
911 to Wakefield Fire Command. One's in a room.
Turn that down. That digital is loud, so when it comes in, you really know it. Really loving the digital deal up there. It's actually pretty neat. Well, you see, the thing is with these storms, I seen your name, but it just scrolled on by. Let me see if I can find you. Laura Privat, yeah. The thing with this is we're not dealing with instability. So these showers here, they're not going to make any difference. There's already no instability out there, or hardly any instability either way. It's not really going to matter. What we're dealing with is a low-level jet. And when you got that in place, you've got wind energy, and lots of wind energy. Regardless of the instability, if some of these showers can get heavy enough and pull that air, the aloft air, it's not too high up, but it's pretty high up. But it's called a low-level jet because the wind sets pretty far down. And if you can get a heavy enough thunderstorm producing a heavy enough downdraft, then it's able to pull those winds aloft down. And we did just get a gust up to 23 miles per hour just now with these showers. And that is right now at 7:36. So we have some gusty winds with these showers. So you can tell they are tapping into that wind just a little bit as it's moving across. But that was it. We've got a sustain now at 16 miles per hour out of the south on our station here. So far it hasn't got any higher than that. So just going to have to watch that. But that's basically what we're watching is the wind. Tornadoes tonight, the risk is very low, like 2%, 2% minus 2%. So yeah, we'll say 2%, about 2% risk of a tornado. It's very low. Oh yeah, I heard that. It's definitely roaring out there. We got some wind coming in now. Let's switch to our station and let me close. Okay, no, I'm gonna leave it up, but I'm gonna have to be careful with it. I think if they watch this back and it accidentally did show up, they'd be like, hey, this guy tried his best to keep from showing it. He wasn't doing it on purpose. So let's see if we can switch it to my station here. My anemometer station. We'll look outside. Alright, so here's our current winds. We got a 35 mile per hour gust. That's going to be near Grove Oak. But yeah, so far that's it. Looks like some 25 mile per hour gusts north of Arab. I'm seeing some 20s in there. Let's move to the west to see if I can't pick any of those stations up. Looks like there's not a lot of them out there. My goodness. Wow, looks like most of our stations are over in northeast Alabama and along I-65. That's crazy. And yeah, some communities got way too many. But yeah, nothing too crazy, really. Yep, didn't mean to click that one. High winds and rain in Scottsboro. Yep, that's what that first line is coming through. We're watching another little batch there, currently moving into Arab, and I've seen some gusty winds with that. Yeah, Tyler, there is 146 watching, wasn't they? Looks like it went down one. Oh yeah, I bet on the mountains it has been a lot worse up there on higher elevations. Well, I'll be honest, I'm in a trailer, and unless I see 60 mile per hour winds coming, that's where I'm going to stay. You know, even then, as stubborn as I am, I'd probably stay in mine. But hey, that don't mean everybody needs to. Everybody's situations are different. So, yeah. Nothing going on at Fort Payne right now other than the rain that's coming in. It hasn't even got there yet. Thanks, Amanda, for sharing that. I appreciate it. High winds coming off Pea Ridge. I think I read that. Wasn't 100% sure. Alright, let's go back over it again. Okay, I think we do have some new wind damage. Emergency Management 724. Emergency Manager reported trees and power lines down. So it is on the way. It's coming. It looks like they may have extended that special weather statement out. They did. Emergency Manager reported strong thunderstorms along a line extending from near Cherokee to Russellville to near Phil Campbell. It's moving east at 65, northeast at 65 miles per hour. That's pretty quick. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Areas impacted: Posey Loop, Mount Hope, Florence, Speake, Neesmith, Oakland, North Cortland, Lexington, Tuscumbia, and Hatton. And actually, no, I don't think they did extend it any further out. So currently going to wait for some new updates. And we'll try to get back to our repeater here, or Fort Payne repeater anyway. So yeah, this main line is coming in a lot quicker than it was first anticipated. Right now, where it's currently at, we was looking at the high resolution models. Right here was supposed to be the 8 o'clock line. Like where it's at right now was supposed to be at 8 o'clock. So those models, they weren't that bad off. It's 742. I mean, that's pretty accurate. And just got some more damage reports here. Okay, that's 724. I wonder why they're so behind. Could be the lag. Trees and power lines down. Trees and power lines down along Highway 75. Trees and power lines down along County Road 175. So see, these things are producing some very high winds. You know, for it to do that, I'm going to say those winds probably gusted up to around 60 in that area. Yeah, I would not doubt a bit as it moved through Phil Campbell there that it produced some damaging winds. up to maybe a little bit higher than 50 miles per hour as that line came. Yeah, look at that. Just called it on the scan here. Let me back it up. Right here where those damage reports are at. Look at that gust that came through there. I'm trying to get a measurement on it, but it's just, let me stop the radar for a minute. Alright, right there, south of Phil Campbell. Look at that. Right on top of the damage there, where the reports are coming in at. So it's showing 50 plus, so a little bit over 50 miles per hour came through there with that line. So that's what we got to watch for, is it being able to dip into that wind and bring it down, even if it's briefly. And we'll stop it now. Looking at it currently, we've got some 50s, 50 pluses along the line. And now we're going pretty high up. So let me do a track on this really quick. It's moving off to the northeast at 65 miles per hour, so let's track it off to the northeast. Alright, so if this stuff continues, it would eventually, it's 58.6 miles away from Marshall County, you know, give or take, because it's moving a little bit ahead now, but around 58 miles away. We do have reports of trees down blocking the roadway. Didn't catch where that was at. 75 somewhere. But this line will eventually move into Marshall County. It'll get into Marshall County before it does any of us. So it'll get to Marshall County, then it'll move on into Jackson County, and of course then into DeKalb County. So we'll have to watch this thread for some damaging winds as it does continue to move on through. It's obviously trying to do that, produce some damaging wind. So let's go back to the chat. Well, I have a measurement from just a few minutes ago when the wind came through. 22 miles per hour out of the south. Right now we've currently got 10 miles per hour out of the south. So far gusts has only went up to 22. That was with that little batch of rain that came through. So give you an idea how intense that jet stream is off the ground. Alright guys, so I'm going to take a quick break, go grab a drink. I will be right back. It won't take but a minute, so just hang around a little bit. Like I said, maybe 2-3 minutes. And for those asking where's the rain, it is coming. So I will be right back. Alrighty, I am back, everybody. Yeah, our power's starting to flicker a little bit here too. And yes, the wind will be worse up on the mountains because you're higher up and you're closer to that jet stream. So, if you're on Lookout Mountain, you know, if these if this thing keeps on, you know, and it strengthens up a bit, yeah, if you're on Lookout Mountain, you could get some, you know, you have a little bit better potential to get some damaging winds up there. Well, let's see. So they're just now putting out special weather statements, which that's, you know, been going on for a little bit now. The storms are 76 miles to the west, so they're not here yet. What we're dealing with is the rain ahead of it, and embedded in some of that rain with the, you know, with the downdraft with the rain, it can sometimes pull into some of that higher winds aloft, potentially bring some gusty winds down. But the main line, to answer your question there, the main line is still a little bit away. It's not even in, it's not even along I-65 yet.
Truck and trailer, stand by for 28. He has a trailer on the back. Put us back, sir.
We're probably hauling back in service, not 1049.
So I may not stay live the whole time with this. Just definitely want to, you know, alert everybody. And I imagine we've alerted a lot. I don't know how many viewers we've had. But I'll probably, you know, go take a break until this stuff gets a little bit closer, as I don't want to hold everybody up the whole time with, you know, really nothing going on. But once this stuff starts getting closer, you know, be ready. Pay attention when I go back live. And I will. Once some of this, you know, starts extending a bit further east. When it gets along I-65 and starts to go into Marshall County, I'm going to go live again, and we'll track it all the way through till it's out of here. But basically, you know, we are seeing some damage reports, wind damage reports by emergency management along that line, and the line is looking a little bit better, as you can tell. Even with the untrained eye, you can see that it's getting brighter in color, which that's also because it's getting closer to the radar. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll go live again once it starts to enter Marshall County. Does anyone have any questions, or can I do anything for anyone before I get ready to wrap this up here? And, you know, for now, that's what I always say on the radio, if anybody need anything before I get ready to close, so kind of got used to saying it. All right, thanks a lot. Let me make sure nobody pops in here at the last second. Wow, 3.4K views as of now. Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate that, man. You be safe up there, Valley Head. I think you're in Valley Head, if I ain't mistaken, or Jackson County, maybe Ider. I may be thinking of somebody else. And, yeah, I'll get some shots of this camera, you know, a picture, a still picture, so that I can post up and show everybody what it looks like over Boaz. But yeah, just if anybody knows the people that might know this, you know, I know we got a lot of people watching, so hey, some of y'all might know who owns this camera, but it says Marshall DeKalb Electric Cooperative Camera, so somebody in that department owns this camera. You know, if you know them, you know, send them my way. Be like, you know, that way I could talk to them. Be like, hey, you know, would you mind if I show this camera? You know, sometimes, like, I won't leave it just continuously on there. I'll just show it every now and then, if they mind me using this to show everybody what's going on over Boaz. I think that would be pretty cool. And if not, I understand too. I'm sure they got their reasons. If not, but hopefully I can get in contact with them. If not. And the Sandrock area to probably be moving at the same, I mean, it looks like the same time as it gets here, because Sandrock's just south of us, so it looks like it gets in here around probably 10 o'clock for our area. And our pressure currently is 28.41. I'm looking at my station here, which I don't, that thing is ancient, so I'm not so sure it's accurate. Yeah, 28.41 and dropping. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to get out of here temporarily, but we'll go back live pretty soon. So thanks again, everybody. Be safe out there. Be weather aware. And Tyler's from DeKalb and Ider. I figured that. He's not far from me then. He's been an admin on the page for, he was for a little while. I'm going to have to put him back on here. Great job. Alrighty, I'm scrolling through the comments here before I get ready to wrap it up, and there's a lot of comments, so just alrighty, thanks everybody. We'll see you on the next update. Also, got to run this by you, as I promised to do. Thanks for our sponsors for helping us keep the live streams going. That's going to be Mr. Dylan Snyder at Alabama Living Real Estate. For all your real estate needs, you want to buy a home, need a real estate agent, he's the man to call. Call him at 256-979-4330. And also, if you're looking to buy a vehicle, hey, RKG Automotive Group can hook you up. You can give them a call at 256-572-6586. And of course, thanks to all these sponsors for helping us keep everything going here and updated. So we will see you soon, everybody. Thanks again for joining us here. We'll be updating again shortly.